The bee is a buzzing creature so vital to our green spaces. However, out of the 260 species of the striped pollinators, only one, the honeybee, is really recognised. A new project in Salisbury called Bee City is aiming to challenge this perception to recognise the solitary bee species.
It's a project that we've launched here at the Secret Garden, and the idea is to use all the information I've been collecting up over the years about wild bees. I've learnt so much about how important wild bees are, but I've also learnt that the balance of airtime they get in the media, for instance, is really out of kilter. So this project exists because the balance is wrong, and more people need to know more about wild bees and especially, you know, where they nest, what they like to feed on, what times a year they emerge. I just want people to feel a real love for them and a real enthusiasm that they can do something positive just by knowing a few things. And I think we tend to think that the whole bee subject is going to be gloomy and depressing, but actually just a few bits of know-how can really help, and that's the goal.
The vast majority of bees in this country are wild or solitary bees. They don't live in hives and they don't make honey, but without them our habitats wouldn't survive.
If you went for a walk in the middle of a moor somewhere, you're not hugely likely to come across a honeybee hive. So what's pollinating everything? Well, it's wild bees. And wild bees are everywhere. It's just they kind of don't get noticed so much because they just do their thing in the background, and you know, they live in places that unless you know they're there you wouldn't look for them, as opposed to the domestic honeybee, which is very obvious, isn't it? You see the hive, you know what they're doing, you know they're there, but the poor wild bees don't get the credit they deserve, and that's what it's all about. They are important. There are so many of them that the work they do is huge.
The Bee City project is being ran by the Secret Garden initiative, and Rebecca hopes to involve the entire community.
And it's about getting everyone in the whole city to come to the website, see how they can get involved themselves in Bee City, and they might want to just plant better flowers. They might want to create a habitat area in their schoolyard. They might want to hold a talk in their local village hall. They might just want to personally learn more about wild bees, but the central part of it really is about wild bees, of which there are 260 odd species, and trying to up the ante a little bit for them and give them some of the credit they deserve.
Central to the project is the Bee Trail, an animated walk through all of the city's green spaces with 12 different bee points, all with creative and interactive information on a different breed of wild bee. And it will involve the entire family.
It will be a series of illustrated trail points around the city, right out into the green spaces. And each one of the illustrations is a different type of solitary bee, and it's got a little bit of info on there, and there's also going to be an app that you can download, and you can point and shoot your mobile phone at the picture and you'll get an augmented reality bee appear on your phone. So again, that's just another element, and some information, some did you know things will pop up as well. And we've been sponsored by local businesses to make this happen, so that's brilliant. It's a fun way to tell people about wild bees.
Whilst the Bee City project will primarily happen over the summer months, the Bee Trail will be remaining in Salisbury permanently. Rebecca hopes the initiative will gradually change the public's perception of the bee species, so they alter the way they plant and seed to help the wild bees that pollinate so much of our landscape. Rhaya Barton, That's TV.